Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Back Catalog Podcast. This is the podcast where we, and by we, I mean me, Apo, my co-host / co-founder Vincent, we dive into the streaming services and we tell you, the listener and the viewer, what is worth it and what is not. Vincent, we're here for the final episode of Moon Knight.
Dude, we're absolutely here. Like, it's been and gone. Moon Knight is now done. Final recap. Laters Gators is the name of this article that I've got up here, which is, you know, it's hilarious. You know, it's a homage to one of the things that the man says, and like that's it. You know?
Right. And like, there's a gator-like creature in this. That's what I thought it was homage to.
Yeah, sure. The episode was called,
but this is episode 6, Gods and Monsters.
Gods and Monsters. I don't think that's a good name for the episode.
No, not really, and we'll get into whether or not this episode is good very shortly. But Vincent, what I wanted to do was I just wanted to tell people, if they can see the fade and you know, the lineup of the beard that I got just recently, if they can see that, then they can also hit like and subscribe on the YouTube. And they can go into the YouTube, they can go into the back catalogue of the back catalogue, and they can find a plethora of videos there. And we're talking food videos, we're talking reviews. We even reviewed memes over there, and that's probably one of our favorites.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
So go there. Do all the things you need to do as a good Samaritan on YouTube. You know? Thought I'd just say that up top, Vincent.
Okay. You all right?
I got people talking. I just got people talking like as if there's not podcasts.
Right. The red light's on.
You know, lucrative.
The recording
going on
light's
right
on, and they're disrespecting
the red light's on.
So what I reckon we do
but
for this episode of the back catalogue, the podcast where I reckon we don't worry about it. That'll be fine. You know, we won't be able to hear it. And if we do, then you know, that's just extra content. Good. I reckon we talk about maybe this episode in particular, and then we maybe give our review of the whole Moon Knight. You know, give a bit of a review on the whole series and whether or not it's the worst Marvel TV show.
Yeah. Whether or not it's the worst just Marvel property, you know, within the cinematic and television universe.
Yes, that's right. That's what we're going to answer today.
Yeah. Now, Vincent, I'm sorry. I just got to just keep the people talking for a second because there's just things going on that I need to address very quickly. I'll be right back. Vincent, just give him a general synopsis of this episode, and I'll be back, you know, quicker than you can say loudly.
Okay.
All right,
Josh. What did I say, Josh? So recap of the episode. So basically, this is like when Amit and Khonshu meet in the middle. They have a bit of a fight. You know, he becomes Moon Knight again. That's about it. You know, he's just.
What about Layla?
Yeah, but I'm just giving the general synopsis. You know, the general synopsis is Harrow awakens Amit. You know, they have some sort of growth hormone situation going, and it just starts. You know, she just starts getting bigger and bigger, and Khonshu decides to square up, and they go at it like siblings. You know, it's like a sibling rivalry. Hey, I want to do this. Yeah, I want to do this, but a little bit differently. And it's like, well, you kind of want the same thing. But
the fact that she gets bigger.
That was the funniest scene.
It doesn't really make that much sense.
That was the funniest scene. And it's just like getting bigger. It felt like one of them, I don't know, old cartoons that you see that people make fun of. I don't have anything specific.
Well, maybe it will be maybe it will be a, you know, a thing that in the future people make fun of. And
dumb.
We'll get into whether or not that's the case. But this is why it's also dumb, that bit, because Khonshu can just grow big as well.
He doesn't need to eat souls.
Like, Khonshu he doesn't need to do anything. So why does she need to do things? And also, what benefit does it have that she's big when she's also fighting another man that's big? There's no benefit to her other than spectacle.
That whole...
And I mean, it's a TV show, so spectacle is important.
That whole fight between those two was the worst thing I've seen in the MCU, I think.
Yeah. And let's preface this, Vincent. We like kaiju.
Yeah.
We like kaiju, you know, movies, and we like Godzilla. We like King Kong. We like all those things. We went and watched Shin Gojira in
In the
what's it
cinemas.
called? In the cinemas, there was probably two other people
Dude,
there.
that thing had
But we were
googly
there.
eyes, and we still love that movie. You know,
I do want to watch that movie again. I mean, a lot of it is just like people in boardrooms being like, "Man, what the hell?" But other than that, like it's a pretty
dude,
good movie.
that's what people in boardrooms should have been when they came up with this plot for this TV episode.
If they stuck some googly eyes on a meat, it would have been over for us. We would have enjoyed this, but unfortunately, they didn't. So, just can you help me recap? Because I watched it a couple nights ago now. In this episode, Mark Spector, he awakens?
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch
And he
more
brings-
stuff. So it starts off and Mark Spector's like in the field of reeds. You know, he's in the afterlife, and he's like, "Nah, bro, I got to go back.
Yes.
I've got to go get Grant Stevens. I've got to get Stephen Grant, and we've got to go get Layla, and we've got to stop a meet or whatever." Which, you know, is very touching. He goes back to the sand, and they both turn to sand, and then because their heart's now full, like it's beautiful, and then they go, you know, they don't turn into sand. But they got sand in their shoes still, but they go through the gates of Osiris or whatever. It's so convoluted.
But also there's a sand tidal wave coming at them as well.
There's
a tidal
so
wave of
much
sand,
stuff that you just like.
But then the hippo hits it.
It was one of those movies where you expect it to be some random project by kids who are just learning to use CGI, and they want to create like some B movie on Egyptian mythology.
Like that's the content, but it was A grade CGI.
CGI
Like,
was
the
top tier.
was good, but you're saying the content
actual
of it
content.
was as if it would meet one of those.
If it was
Yeah.
bad
And
CGI,
like that,
it would have
you'd
better
love- you'd
fit
enjoy it.
the aesthetic they were going with, the vibe, I guess.
Yeah, so they come back to life, and in this case, Mark Spector and Stephen Grant are finally working in tandem.
Yeah, and now they can switch.
You know, they flip
That's
between each
right.
other, which doesn't really add anything given the fact that like the cool thing about them was that Mark Spector could come in, he could do the sleuthin. Grant Stevens could come in, he could do the sleuth, and he could do the understanding of the ancient Egyptian history and lore, and then Mark Spector was coming in throwing hands.
Yeah.
But in this case, they're just throwing hands.
The
and
only
they're
difference
interchanging.
between the two is one of them's in like a fine 3-piece suit and man's got sticks. That's it. It's like, do you want to bash this dude with the stick, or do you want to hit him with a crescent moon shaped object? That's your two options.
And you know, we had a Meat and Khonshu in the background doing their thing, and then we just had Mark Stevens, Mark Spector, you know, both of them, and Layla fighting
Bro, what the hell?
Harrow, who was just
Dude,
a man with a golden stick.
Hold on. They're out here telling me
am I
on Zoom
skipping?
that
Am I
like
skipping?
I've got to upgrade to what's called do this meeting. We might have to have an intermission in like 9 minutes. That's right. I'll be able to sort it out.
Are they
Dude,
serious?
Zoom is playing games with me right now. Zoom is 100% playing games.
Who else is on
with
this
me.
Zoom?
No, that's absolute disrespect.
I mean, this might be a bit of a hint to the episode, but there's someone else there. There's someone else on the Zoom. So anyway, the fight between Harrow, Moon Knight, and Layla was just everything that we had talked about in these previous episodes. In that there was nothing intriguing or fun about these fights. It was just people, you know, shooting lasers and hitting each other, which is not uncommon for Marvel. But for some reason, it just did not. It did not excite me.
I think because the first episode of this series set it up to be more of just a different, not an as action packed, and it felt like this finale went against everything that some of the episodes had showcased, and archaeology, discovery, mystery, and I mean just the whole thing. I have to say though, when Layla gets like her outfit, it is wild. Like with the wings, I don't know why she got wings because she's a hippo. That doesn't.
Yeah, I didn't get
But
that.
I mean,
either.
that's wild.
But you look cool.
That's right,
nevertheless.
because that's like Falcon-esque.
It is. It's very similar and not that this is a bad thing, but it's very similar to the Wonder Woman 84 suit. I haven't actually watched that movie, but I've seen a bit where in Wonder Woman 84 she gets a similar suit to that, where it's a golden suit and it's got wings and things. But you're right, that suit looked a lot cooler than the Moon Knight suit did.
It was very funny when, the whole Egyptian throne room or whatever got knocked down, and it kind of panned up, and you could tell obviously Layla was going to be in some sort of new suit, and she rocks up and she kind of just like stands there and flexes and the wings come out, and it was the most awkward scene because you look on the other side of the camera, there's no one there.
Like, she's not flexing towards anyone. It's just for her own benefit.
That's right. It's like when you come out of the shower and you flex your pecs a bit, for yourself.
Oh man! But there's nothing wrong with that. You got to love. You got to love yourself.
There absolutely is nothing wrong
body.
with that. But it's just hilarious to see it on the screen.
On screen.
When it's trying to be serious as well. Like, yeah, this is real tough. It's like, nah, bruv, it ain't.
Can I tell you another thing that was trying to be serious in regard to Layla? Because I think Layla was a really good character throughout this whole series, but there was just not much that was exciting for her. There was the one episode where she was, sort of taking the lead with Jeremy Stevens or whatever that man's name is, but. Jeremy Stevens is an ex-UFC fighter. That's not what we're talking about here. Whatever the guy's name is, the British man. There was that episode, but in this episode, she got a suit. But I just don't think that there was much else for her in this series. But the thing that frustrated me a lot in this one was the fight's going on, and Layla sees there's that car that's about to hit that person, so she saves the van or whatever it was from hitting the person, and then the person goes, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?" And she goes, "Yes." Representation is important, Vincent. But you don't need to say, "Look at this. This is representation. We've got everyone in this, bro. There's everyone here." That's like just she goes around after that. It's like, "This bloke over here is Greek. This man's Armenian. Look at this. We got everyone here."
They're all going to have capes, but their capes are just going to be the country's flags. Are you an Egyptian superhero?
What's that? And I know it's fight, flight, or freeze. Sorry, but who's asking that question? If they're flying, if they're fighting, if they're freezing?
I don't know. You're either fighting, flighting, or freezing, or you're forgetting all three of them and asking about superhero things.
Yeah, I that was just an issue there. But she did some cool things though.
Absolutely.
Things. And then you think Mark Spector and Grant Stevens, they're going to die, but there's another person in them.
Well, yeah, because then Khonshu's now no longer with them because it's like, this was the deal, and after credit scene, we've got a Spanish bloke, like, so show us a flag.
Yeah, so the idea is that they're in a whole heap of trouble. Moon Knight's in a whole heap of trouble, and then just something happens which results in all these people being just beat to shreds. Everyone's dead except for Layla and Moon Knight, and they're wondering what had happened. And that's meant to be a thing to be like, boom, there's going to be more to this. But also you've shown us how you can take this concept of having the multiple people and the multiple personalities and make it really exciting and intriguing, and also give it a good backstory. What's this Carlos's backstory? Mans was angry and he became Carlos.
They were watching Dora the Explorer. She whipped out a few Spanish phrases and it was like...
There's nothing that you can... And I know that they don't need to do this because it's been done in the first series, but if they do a second season... There's nothing to shoot back to. It's like, oh well, you were so filled with rage that you developed Carlos.
Yeah,
that's not what's happening here. That's not going to be something that I'm excited by in the next series.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, keep going.
Go no, you tell me.
I was just going to say, as you can probably tell from I mean, mine especially, but obviously I think yours as well. This last episode was top tier trash. This was.
It might have been the worst.
I was just about to
episode.
say this is probably the worst episode of these 6. I think it might be the worst. I mean, I can't really remember all of the other ones, but this has got to be one of the lowest tier in the lowest tier of Marvel televisual episodes.
I know. I believe that this series as a whole, despite it being something new, when you have a TV show like Loki, you have a TV show like WandaVision, which really took characters that we knew and created something completely different, right? Especially those early episodes of Loki and those early episodes of WandaVision. They were completely different from what anyone was expecting, and it was fantastic. Obviously, towards the end, they have to do some exciting things. There has to be some fights and whatnot. You got to do that because it is a Marvel series and it has to excite everyone. But you had now an opportunity to do a completely new character.
And it seemed
And
like they
build on that
started out
idea.
like that. Because there was obviously
Absolutely. The first
someone
episode was
there was
great.
obviously someone in that boardroom that was putting together ideas, and they were good. You know, there was a few episodes there where you could see it was different, and it was good different, and it was refreshing.
Yeah. Now, do they fold him into the MCU? I hope not.
Yeah. See, my
I liked
perspective.
Oscar Isaacs as
My
a character.
perspective on this one, and this is the definitive perspective of the back catalogue, is.
Well, I mean, you're wearing glasses. So like, not only are you smart, but you got a microphone, so people will listen to you.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever. But the problem with this series, I think, is that they started off with something that was completely different to, to the status quo of the MCU. And I know they did that for WandaVision and Loki, but this was a completely new character as well. And they had that, and there was this intrigue, and there was this not so much of a, we're just going to, beat up bad guys and find the big bad and then defeat them. And it bounced back and forward between that and just like regular superhero content. And I think it lacked direction. It was changing lanes too many times or something. I don't know.
No, I think that you're right. It did change lanes because you come into that first episode with something that you don't know what's going to happen next. And then the next couple episodes, you're like, all right, we're going to show Moon Knight a bit. We're going to have some fun with Moon Knight. And every action sequence that Moon Knight was in was nothing spectacular.
That's right.
It was nothing that people look back on and say, oh man, that was wild. Like, for example, I know that people don't like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show as much. But if you ask people about some scenes from Falcon and Winter Soldier, they'll talk about that finale when he becomes Captain America. They'll talk about when So
our Zoom meetings. I don't know what
the free meeting
our
ended.
Zoom meetings.
This is some
cancelled. I don't know what's happening. Like
This is not fantastic at all.
Someone's not doing good
This
things
is
out there. And
like, we're gonna have to take
they're
a
making
pause
me
here
like pay.
because we got to figure this out. This is technical difficulties on our end,
They're making me pay, and I don't like that.
and I can't even
I'm
hear
gonna
Vincent,
sit here and
which is
talk,
the
and I'm
issue
just gonna,
right now. So
and
we
Akko's
could be
probably talking at the same
I
time.
could
We're
be
probably talking to each other, talking over each other.
I am talking.
And, it is what it is. But
I'm sure
we're going to get back here, and he's going to keep talking about Moon Knight.
We'll be able to get into it.
About Moon Knight.
We'll be able to get
It's
into it.
Moon Knight. I mean, what else do you want here?
All right.
Why is my volume so low? Okay.
Valid
Nice and
meeting
good. I've
ID.
just sent him an email, an electronic mail.
Zoom. What?
But yeah, Moon Knight.
What's going on here, Zoom?
That's it.
Why are you going to treat us like that, Zoom?
Hey, here he is. He's been admitted. Ready?
Oh, man. Zoom is
Welcome.
just...
To another episode of the Back Catalog Podcast. Were you two talking that whole time?
Dude, we write and...
Yeah, I was talking that whole time.
That's what I was saying. I don't know if Vincent's talking that whole time.
I'm gonna have to do some sort of editing, but it's what we're gonna do.
You got to leave some of that in.
I'm
though.
gonna
You
have
got
to
to
do
leave a
some
little
sort of
bit of that
editing.
in. Zoom, what happened with Zoom? Anyway,
Don't worry about Zoom.
What I was saying was, with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you get that finale. You get the episode in which the new Captain America just killed that man in the middle of the street. Like you have these exciting action and obviously there's some dramatic sequences in there because a man died in the streets. But these are things that I look back on and I say, man, that was crazy. That was not something that I was expecting to happen, or that was something that I did expect and I enjoyed it thoroughly. But in this in this series, there was only two moments in there. One was just the entirety of the first episode, and the second moment was the moment with that Egyptian cave monster. But that was like 2 minutes of this show.
But consider this.
I'm considering it.
Bro, who the hell is? There is an alligator with like dreadlocks.
Well, that's
right?
fire.
Just consider that. But then she's just eating little orbs out the sky, and she's progressively getting larger. And she's got her mouth open, like she's just dining at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Just consider that.
But not only consider that, the reason that she's dining at an all-you-can-eat buffet, she's at the Warren Buffett, is because there's people on the streets who are grabbing other people by the hands and asking them if they're worthy. If I see a person who just grabs someone by the hands and they sent them to Warren Buffett, I would be out of there. I'd be flexing. There'd be no more orbs in that space.
But also, there didn't look like there was many people fighting. It wasn't instant. They had to wait for the scales, the tattoo scales.
Yeah. They were just like, and then orbs. when we're talking orbs and this is like a video game boss, but in like a 90s video game that was good, but it's not exciting now that we've had a significant amount of other things. It's one of those bosses where you beat it up and it goes down in health points and you're like, all right, I'm almost killed it. And then the orbs hit it. And now it's up in health points again.
Bro, the orbs.
And you're like, how many times do I have to do this? The after credit scene, again, we go into a mental health facility. The mental health facility is just
yellow.
This one's
a real
just
one,
built
actually.
yellow.
Like, this one's a real one.
That one's a real one, yeah. And Harrow gets taken out by a man who we don't know. But when that was going on, I was like, well, it's obviously going to be Oscar Isaacs.
Yeah, 100%.
So he gets taken into the best. I'm going to tell you what the best thing about this after credit scene was. He gets taken into a limousine, and Khonshu is in the limousine, like legs crossed. He's got the stick.
The cane?
What was that thing called? The cane. He's got the cane. He's just sitting there in a suit,
He's
looking at this
sharp
man.
as well.
He was, but like, why does a prehistoric toucan need to look sharp?
Bro, he's just dressing it up for the fans,
And then anyway, Harrow gets shot by who we figure out is Oscar Isaacs, but Oscar Isaacs is now Spanish. Oh, bro, I'm getting colds, man. Let me just.
Dude, I got a call as well. Dude, no one's respecting the recording light.
I told them as well. I said to this person who just called me, "Sorry, I can't talk. I'm doing the podcast."
The disrespect.
But that's that's neither here nor there. Vincent, out of all the episodes, I want to rank them real quick. Okay.
So let me have a look. I'm just going to go on IMDb and I'm going to have a look at.
Get up the episodes. Get up the episodes.
All right. So yeah, let's rank them real quick. TV miniseries 2022.
So can we do top to bottom?
Or bottom to top? No, top to bottom. All right.
Let's
so we got the goldfish problem,
top to bottom,
which was the first episode. Some on the suit,
which
is the second episode. What happened in that one?
Second. Yeah. That was when he goes into the Harrow cult.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're saying like, hey, you're doing well, and then he gets the Moon Knight, Mr. Knight suit.
Okay, so that's with the dude. Where's the storyline?
Don't worry about storylines. We're going through this quick.
That's when he meets Layla.
Rehashing episode 2.
All right. The friendly type. That's when they go to that dude and he's shirtless on a horse. Then there's the tomb.
Yep.
There's the tomb, which is the slimy creatures.
The Egyptian cave monster.
Then there's
Yep.
the Asylum, which is the one where obviously they're dead. Oh, they've been dead. And then obviously Gods and Monsters.
They've been dead.
All right.
All right. So let's go bottom to top then. Gods and Monsters
That's
is
for
at
me.
the bottom.
Yeah. Gods and Monsters.
And the reason it's at the bottom is because it's a finale as well. So it gets extra weight.
Yeah, that's right. That would be in the bottom regardless of what number it was.
Yeah.
I'm going to go...
I think the friendly
I was just
type
about
is
to
next.
say, that was a pretty trash episode.
Right.
Then I'm going to go Asylum for me.
Oh, you didn't like that
No,
episode, did you?
I did, but I like the other ones better. Oh, no, hold on. A Summon the Suit is going to be...
Right. Some of the Suit. Yeah, I was going to say Some of the Suit
That
is
wasn't...
next.
I didn't mind that episode. It was just the end when he started fighting things. But yeah, Asylum was pretty good, I thought. And then I'm going to go The Tomb.
Oh my
Do
God.
you get more calls? This
I'm
is
getting
the
more
most
calls, that's
interrupted episode we've had.
This is officially the worst episode of the Back Catalog podcast. The podcast where if
they ranked.
if they did the worst episode of the Back Catalogs, So then I think it goes Asylum, The Tomb,
And then the Goldfish Problem.
and then of course the Goldfish
absolutely. And for me, the Goldfish
So
Problem
really, just watch those
and
three,
the Tomb are pretty high up above the rest, I think. I did like Asylum,
Yeah,
but I mean that's got the highest rating. That's got a 9 on IMDb.
well, I think it has the highest rating because of the revelation in it, and I think that's a really heavy and really good
Yeah, I
revelation
think-
that adds a lot of weight to the story.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
Hey man, that is it. And you know what, Vincent? Hey, I'm just happy to be here with you today,
Yeah.
Vincent. Oh my flipping God. You just can't win in this
Is it the
world.
same
You want to
person?
be happy. You want to... it's the same
Right, whoever
person.
this person is
I've declined them. I've sent them to
Right,
voicemail. Anyway, Vincent, what I wanted to say was I've enjoyed being here with you. I've enjoyed doing this series and talking through it. And I think that a series that we don't like allows us to provide more ideas and more content. But I'm excited now to go into... this is just what's coming up next. We're going to do another top 15 memes. And we're going to do some movies for a while because people have been talking to me. They want movies.
They want
again.
movies. They want movies. All right, we'll give what the people want.
movies.
Those 3 people that watch, we'll give them what
All
they
right.
want. All right, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, links in the description. Like and subscribe. You know, Appo's got a fresh fade, so if you're not on YouTube, go on YouTube and just suss it out. Apologies for the numerous technical difficulties. I mean, at this point, that's on brand. Yeah, talk soon.
Talk soon.